So, Heretic is a horror thriller. It's a little bit mysterious in the beginning.
Riddle me this, riddle me that.
You don't know really where it's going at first. And the plot is just two religious women are drawn into a game of cat and mouse in a house of a strange man. And it delivers just that. But overall, it's a film about nihilism.
Goth's darkness is nihilistic, whereas emo's is cynical. Wait, I thought we were cynical. Whatever, it doesn't matter. No, say you're nihilistic. Oh, yeah, you're right.
Which is a philosophical viewpoint that rejects fundamental aspects of the human experience, whether through, science or spirituality or just good old-fashioned philosophy. The film also gives an answer to religious cynicism.
Look, man, there is more to this than we thought about.
And a general distrust of others. You know what I mean? Like the motives and actions and beliefs that people are primarily interested in themselves.
God exists, it's fucking me!
Themselves within the context would be the Christian, Judeo-Muslim beliefs and all that branches to and from these religions. Although, I think agnosticism takes a back seat to the whiplash in this car ride, if you will. To build on the nihilism a little bit, though, I have to lay out that the average, everyday man, it's about half and half as far as being religious. According to a July 2023 Gallup poll, 47% of Americans identify as religious. Now, I don't, know who Gallup is or where they got these numbers from.
May I help you?
We'll be asking the questions, old man. Who are you?
But let's take their word for it for this scenario. Less than half of America is still religious, and the other half is either agnostic or, atheists or, creationists without religion. An atheist, being loosely defined, is that there is no God and the world, there is no God.
Because there's no God, and your idiotic human ideals are laughable.
And the world isn't created by a quote unquote higher being, whether in context of, religion or not. So whether or not you're religious or not, there is no God to an atheist. So what else? There's spirituality, philosophies like Buddhism, etc. But technically, I don't want to categorize Buddhism in a religion, but I don't want to get too semantical about it at this point. I just want to lay out the mindset, or my perception of the mindset in this film, of some of the philosophical takes that I gained from it. So anyway, the film is dualistic in its nihilism, that nothing matters and everything matters. Your nihilism matters and yet it doesn't. Your religion matters and yet it doesn't. Same for your philosophy or your science or atheism.
Your booze mean nothing, I've seen what makes you cheer.
All that really matters is how it makes you feel. And also that really all forms of afterlife discussion is fucking scary.
You shut up! I'm so fucking scared right now, you shut up!
Animalistically, we as human beings, for the most part, we just want to live this adventure out. Whether or not there's a reward or another dimension, or this whole thing is just like a Matrix, like the movie Dream, and we unplug, and once we die, nobody knows. No one knows. But the film, it does give the viewer space to breathe on these factors underneath their initial jabs at organized religion. And please believe me, there are jabs being thrown.
Please believe me. Please believe me.
Which is my segue into the cynical religious takes that not only the villain dialogue cuts with, but also with our own premeditated thoughts as a viewer or as a truth seeker, as a human being. I'm sure you, like me, have been introduced to some form of religion.
I was bound up in a straitjacket, and MacGulliver was strapped to a headrest.
And deciphered and analyzed other religions in your leisure.
My clues.
And this movie uses your knowledge to its advantage, creating this thick air of controversial awkwardness that I personally love. But it's not all kicking a man while it's down and saying that it's not dog walking religion the entire time. You know what I mean? The movie subtext goes on to say, you know, do what thou wilt. That's the joke. That's the Aleister Crowley joke. Anyway, the movie goes on to say, enjoy your life.
I'll do the best I can.
Even by the pursuit of religion or what have you. Because camaraderie is a part of the human condition. Whether it's a church or a mosque or laboratory or wherever atheists, you know, go to worship Charles Darwin. Wherever these atheists are congregating to worship Charles Darwin, it doesn't matter because it's camaraderie. Some of my favorite aspects of this film is it playing with actuality and playing with our perception of what is real and what is fake.
India, Africa, America, you never know.
Which is somewhat of a simile or metaphor to what religion presents to the world, you know. In all religious texts, it's like this air of mystery and science fiction, supernatural magic, fantasy happening. Although, I guess the same could be said with the religion of science. You know, you got dinosaurs and cavemen and missing links and monkey, fish, frogs. And
In the beginning, we were all fish, okay? Swimming around in the water. And then one day, a couple fish had a retard baby.
CGI is everywhere. The CGI is their Bible. You understand what I'm saying? I'm saying, like, they'll use a CGI as evidence the same way people in religions use text as proof.
Uh-oh, retard alert. Retard alert, class. Do you believe in a flying spaghetti monster too, bubblehead?
I wasn't talking about spaghetti.
So in the film, there's also this air of psychological, supernatural factors being, you know, layered in the dialogue. It just adds to the mystery or lack thereof. It's all in the perception of the viewer until the end. Now, I'm trying to discuss the philosophy of this movie without spoiling it, but also discuss with everyone who has watched it. So if you haven't seen it, go, leave, be gone, get out of here.
Go outside, nerd. Get out. Go. I ain't got time to be distracted by your worthless chime-ins. Go on.
Y'all, we good? All right, let's continue. In the film, dialogue-wise, we're treated to a wild ride. Religious discourse.
Speak your speech, nigga.
And debate topics.
You need to leave.
It's all the bread and butter of the zeitgeist kids. You know what I'm saying?
There are numerous saviors from different periods from all over the world which subscribe to these general characteristics.
And also the pre-Berlin Wall secret book club.
Probably made up this whole slavery thing. What nigga you know gonna work all day in a hot field for no paper? See, that's your problem. You be believing anything somebody tells you or put in a book.
I know about you. I'm talking about a time before the internet where people would go from town to town pass their occult knowledge through, you know, physical forums.
See a town I'm liking. See some getting money in a town I like it.
And they'll use things like the good old allegory of Jesus being born to a virgin on a star.
Please, I'm a star!
Is the same as Horus or Sirius the Great or Zeus or Dionysus, to name a few.
What's the difference?
Which leads to, you know, one of my favorite back and forths between the characters, Sister Barnes and Hugh Grant's character. You know, they get into a little scuffle, a word scuffle.
This is a whiff. And here's the pun.
And she's like, dude, that isn't the same as Jesus. He has a fucking bird head.
Would you consider yourself a revolutionary?
Well, no.
Which is hilarious to me, you know what I'm saying? Like, ignore the mythos. Ignore the same divinity symbols. And it's just like, this dude has an ego head, so obviously these are two different stories, you know what I'm saying? A few of the themes that play in the movie is the trials of the levels of hell trope.
Oh, shit. God damn it. Same shit, different day.
If that's not a trope, it is now.
What the does that mean, Kobe Bryant?
You're welcome.
I don't like how, you know, later in the movie they do force feed us the Dante's Inferno reference. Like, I don't know what you want me to think here.
We have different faces, but inside we are same.
Like, we're in a physical room cascading downward. Like, this is the Labyrinth with David Bowie. You know? This is obviously Hereditary, Jacob's Ladder. Obviously, this is a Dante's Inferno reference. You know what I mean? As above, so below does the same thing. But I'm just saying I enjoy a little bit more subtlety.
Because of the implication.
I'm being picky, really. It's not even a big deal. Some other themes that I enjoyed is personification. The villain is being the personification of the frustration. To the obvious flaws and hypocrisies of organized religion. Specifically the Christian branches and Mormon, which is like, you know, a safe place.
My safe space.
For discussion, because I mean, the zeitgeist deems it so. It's a lot safer avatar for Christian type beliefs to be scrutinized under, because you know, all that's happened in media with them.
Joseph Smith discovering the Book of Mormon.
Oh, an old Con Ed bill. I mean, a New Testament of Jesus Christ, everyone has to sleep with me.
What?
And no dancing!
Also the obvious plot holes in the doctrine as far as validity and believability to the average person, at least in my opinion and in my interactions with other human beings.
Have to get back to base.
Right. Kick ass. Don't want to sound like a dick or nothing, but it says on your chart that you're fucked up.
Irregardless, there's a frustration that builds up in someone who doesn't find comfort in religion.
This is stupid. I want to talk about vaginas!
Because they feel like, how can you believe in a lie? And that is what Mr. Reed represents. But on the other hand, you know, religious creationists view atheistic people in the same token, given the amount of evidence for creation.
And why is that? Because the smartest scientists in the entire world all agree that it's real.
In the theories and holes inside of the theories, like evolution, the Big Bang, and, you know, in all actuality, they're two sides of the same coin and yet polar opposites. It's actually interesting to me. Both are driven by faith.
That's a false equivalence.
One is in complete denial of its faith-based religion, and the other is completely consumed by its faith-based religion.
Don't get mad at me. I don't even want to be here. Y'all the ones that want to be here. I want to go to the strip club. Man, wrap this up. I got a bunch of ones and somebody gonna get them.
Now that's a thinker right there. You know what I'm saying?
What would happen if, for some reason, we ignore somebody unlocked 100% of the cerebral capacity?
100%?
But there is something about our need for knowledge, our sense of ease we seem to have when things are answered. But it's paradoxical because there's always a thirst for more of that knowledge once it's reached.
Finally!
So far, the depth of knowledge and unanswerable concepts of this earth are beyond our understanding. Now, I like to think of it like a magnifying glass or a microscope. We can only go so far until we fill the concepts up with CGI pictures of concepts we thought of. Whether it's by hypothesis or by faith, in the end, either way, what Mr. Reed is a personification of is the opposite of Sister Barnes and Sister Paxton, because they are the personification of the sides of religious masses that are either born in the church or converted into the church. And funny enough, they left out the pastor because, I mean, I feel like it'd be a little too on the nose. You know, just have a cynic versus, you know what I'm saying? So our two heroes feel a little bit more down to earth in our viewing. Like they're just the average person. Most people aren't pastors. You understand what I'm saying? They're just congregation members. You feel me? And Sister Barnes is the converted who takes it seriously to a degree and has been outside of the religion and found comfort in it. And Paxton is just born in it and has ideals, and she has ideals that are more worldly than she lets on, which brings me to the hero's journey for the two female characters, which becomes an inversion of leader and follower and docile and dominant. Once Mr. Reed is antagonized by Sister Barnes, he cuts her off.
My own attack?
Literally. From the conversation to stop him from being thwarted or confronted. And he can pick away at the more timid Sister Paxton. But that is where the switch is flipped and dominance is inherited to Sister Paxton, and she relies on her wits and her sensibility. Mr. Reed concepts of the ultimate religion of control versus Sister Paxton's religious philosophical beliefs, which is something along the lines of do good and be good, and they're using religion as a conduit to that thought, to that philosophy. Because in the end, these people more than likely understand that religion is a religion. Do I sound? That sound like one of the people who like.
So, brother, where your poems at? Huh?
Poetry. Religion is religion.
Oh my God! It's like looking in a mirror.
In one of the final scenes, Sister Paxton speaks on the prayer experiment, where she blends, in a sense, science and religion, in a sense. And in so many words, she says that praying isn't real. It's just something nice to do for someone.
That's what I'm talking about! That's why he's the MVP! That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
And that to me is the heart of their philosophy, the sisters' philosophies.
Say decoy again.
Fuck you.
And for most religious people, you know what I mean? They just use it as a means to do good and feel good in this world. And in the end, they're really not hurting anyone.
Spreading the word and love of Jesus Christ to the many people of the world, teaching peace and love for all.
And the killing of vampires?
Ah, just try to fucking stop me.
It's just some kooky kids who want to give out positive vibes.
I cast you out! Unclean spirit!
And they're really into playing pretend, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's religion or science-based faith, like the Big Bang evolution is just, you know, some kooky nerds who find comfort in monkey fish frogs, like.
But you're terrible. You're all terrible.
But now he see that Jay make the rules in smart tech, that I run this bitch, and now he about to bounce.
People who find comfort in a world that has no answers to give them.
You made that up. Everything's made up. Niggas stay woke.
Just the experience of existence and sentience.
I'm mad.
Can drive somebody mad. You know what I mean? The issue is when we say this is fact when it's not.
Ain't that better? Ain't that better? A dry sandwich you don't want?
And the source of suffering in the whole topic is, I have to be right, therefore you are wrong.
Listen, you little wiseacre. I'm smart, you're dumb. I'm big, you're little. I'm right, you're wrong. And there's nothing you can do about it.
When in all actuality, both sides are cooked as fuck. You know what I mean?
Everything on the grill, fire everything right fucking now.
You know what I mean? The labyrinth in the movie, or the dungeon, or within the house, it's like a metaphor for knowledge. It's the map. It's the world. It's esoteric and occult-like existence in this story. Is that manifested? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the world. In the story, the hero's journey goes full circle physically through this map. You know what I mean? Like, the hero's journey is, you know, the hero's journey. I'm not about to fucking patronize you. Also, the two doors leading to the same point is also something I just thought was funny.
Wait a sec. This sounds like an old riddle I know.
It's almost like the two doors leading to the same point is similar to science and religion. Both doors lead to the middle of nowhere. I mean, science-ism, like the religion of science, not like actual, you know, science, but like
where a particle exists in a combination of states.
The theoretical religious science versus
Mormonism teaches that trillions of planets scattered throughout the cosmos are ruled by countless gods.
faith-based religion.
These realities made the sun the most adored object of all time.
I'll be double dipped in dog shit.
Two doors that lead fucking to the middle of nowhere. Also, what else happened in the movie that I like? The butterfly, the metamorphosis outside of her battle with religion and she like grows into who she is. Or it could also be like, you know, the other sister landing on her because she said whatever she said in the beginning, you know. But I like to think of it as like her Sister Paxton's metamorphosis, you know, with her internal battle with religion. You know, that apparently 47% of the population goes through. I don't know where they get these numbers.
That's not much of a difference. That's a huge difference. Okay.
I'm just going to trust them. You know, why not? So these are some of my favorite points I've obtained from watching the movie so far. But I'm sure I know there's more. You know what I mean? Cinematography wise, it's a great movie. You know, it's nothing too extreme.
Oh, I know what to do with it.
But it's still tastefully and artfully done. It's a level of a pro, point blank, period.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure, bitch.
But for this film, I'm really consumed by the themes and dialogue overall, and the performances by the actors that's the treat. You know what I mean? That's what we're really in tune with this one. So watch it, discuss it with me in the comments. I hope you've enjoyed my little introspective on this film, the messages, the symbols, and philosophies I've gained in this movie. And I hope you share it with me. This is the Tao. This has been the Tao. The art of. Like, subscribe, all that stuff you gotta do so I could be a professional. Anyway, be cool, be good, be love. Never mistake the pilot for the plane, y'all. This has been the Tao, the art of one love.